It is day 10 since the militant group Hamas attacked Israel. The Israeli Defense Force is preparing for the next stages of the war against the Hamas militant group. While a humanitarian crisis still looms over Gaza, the Israeli army has intensified bombardments ahead of an expected ground invasion. This comes after several people are awaiting at the Rafah border to escape Gaza. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken returned to Israel after a 6-country tour through Arab nations. There's a big U.S. focus on measures to prevent the fighting from escalating. All eyes are on the Rafah border crossing from Gaza into Egypt. The only Gaza border crossing not controlled by Israel was scheduled to open at 9 a.m. today. Some trucks carrying fuel were allowed to come in from the Egypt side. Some Palestinian Americans have said they plan to move out of the war-hit area. Others say they distrust the government and fear the journey. Furthermore, foreign nationals currently in Gaza can cross over to Egypt. This is according to the Palestinian embassy. Nationals with dual nationality will be allowed to cross over to Egypt. Humanitarian aid will also begin crossing into Gaza once the crossing opens up. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said that the policies and actions of Hamas do not represent the Palestinian people. Staying with diplomacy, Iran has also warned Israel of escalation if it failed to end its aggression against Palestinians and stated the resistance front can defend itself. So far, 1,400 people have been killed in the Hamas attacks, and the attacks since then, most of them civilians. Meanwhile, Israel's attacks in the days since have flattened neighborhoods and killed at least 2,670 people in Gaza, a majority of them civilians. The Israeli military has claimed that 199 people were being held hostage by Hamas since the Palestinian militant group staged its deadly attack last week. Israel has said that it is restoring water supply to southern parts of Gaza. Israeli Minister of Energy and Infrastructure says this move will help push civilians to move southwards and would make it possible to tighten Israel's siege on Gaza. This comes as the sounds of massive blasts continue to be heard in Gaza as an Israeli ground offensive looms. Earlier, our correspondent Sidhan Sibol spoke with an Israeli security personnel who took part in fighting the Hamas on the very first day.
Hi, sir. If you can speak to us. Sir, if you can talk about how did you defend your community, and if you can give details as to what is the situation right now here in your community.
It's not my community. My community is entire Israel. That's my community. And we try to defend whatever we could do. I used my own weapon and I was fighting. And I had to shoot in order to defend myself and my people. And right now, we're trying to keep strong. We're going to fight back, and we're going to be strong again.
If you can give details of the number of casualties, and perhaps if you can talk about that fateful day that saw the violence by Hamas terrorists.
I don't know the total, how many casualties. But I know my team, we took about 700 dead bodies, approximately 700 dead bodies as of now since last Saturday. And we saw the most awful, the most horror things that could be done, that we only used to read it, that ISIS did it. And if it's chopping off heads, if it's cutting off people, and if it's burning them people alive, it's the shooting them in the back for no reason. That's what we saw.
And essentially, what do you expect is expected to happen in the next few days? If you can talk about, especially in southern part of Israel.
Entire Israel, entire world has to get rid of Hamas. It's not for Israel. It's for Gaza. It's for the people of Gaza. They have to know to live. They could have a nice living if they'll get rid of Hamas. Hamas is a disaster for the world. It's like ISIS.
But these places have been turned into a ghost town. If you can finally, I mean, this is my last question.
This place is right now evacuated because we don't want people to get hurt.
Okay, and so do you expect some kind of danger here?
There's always a danger. Always you can fly a missile or something like that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's a danger of invading right now, but it could be a danger of a missile.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION. Well, back to you in the studio, and he was one of the people who played a key role in terms of the aftermath of the attack, and especially making sure that the communities are safe again. With video journalist Sanjeet Siddhansibal for WION in Sderot in southern Israel.
All right, let's now link to our correspondent Siddhansibal live in Israel. Siddhansibal, good to see you. It's good to see that you're safe. What's the latest at this hour where you are?
Well, Eric, I'm in Sderot, which is a city which we have been talking about since morning. This is a frontline city which was impacted by the Hamas attack on 7th of October. In fact, we went inside the city a short while ago and spoke to a number of officials. We also spoke to the people who have been impacted directly by the attack that day. And there are a number of people who have been kidnapped from this very city. But where I am standing is essentially an area where the people can go. In fact, the media personnel can go. There are no civilians now here, and essentially after this, nobody is allowed. If my camera person can show you the situation on the ground, well, this is the last point where any media personnel is allowed. After this, the Gaza border starts. The Gaza border is still 3 kilometers from here, but you can see there's a lot of security. There's a lot of jam as well. If my camera person can show, and these are mostly people are military people who are carrying resources towards the border area, even as we know that Israel is building up its forces on the Gaza border. Now, one thing I would like to tell that till yesterday we could still go to a point where we can see the tanks and of course the artillery firing. Even that has been stopped now. Nobody is allowed, including the media personnel, to go venture that far. Another important thing I would like to highlight is this city has faced several rocket attacks, one in which we were also caught yesterday. Today it has been fairly silent. There hasn't been any rocket attacks which we have seen here on the ground, but a lot of artillery being fired perhaps towards Gaza. We can hear the sound. We can also hear the sound of many helicopters hovering over us. So situation remains tense on the ground here in the city, which was massively impacted by the attack by Hamas.
Siddhansibal, you might have to look behind you because I see a truck carrying what looks like a tank. Are you seeing that?
Well, you're correct, Eric. If my camera person can show you the truck carrying the tank, these are normal visuals on this side of Israel. My camera person is now closing up, zooming up on those shots. So these shots are very, very natural here on the ground, and these shots are essentially, in a sense, showing that how there is a very, very uneasy calm on the ground. Many of these tanks are now going towards the Gaza border. We yesterday showed you how there was a complete line of trucks tanks heading towards Gaza border, and this is something that showcases you that how Israel is getting ready for something big. We also know that there is a lot of diplomacy that is taking place as well. The US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is again here in Israel. This is his second visit in matter of few days, even as the Americans do the shuttle diplomacy going to many Arab capitals in the region. Now, of course, there is the worry over the humanitarian situation of the Palestinians in Gaza. There have been growing calls not only from the Arab world but from across the world over the situation, the humanitarian situation that is getting worse here in Israel. Now it looks like there's some attack is happening. We are trying to move to some location. The alarm Alarm
All right.
has been
Sidhan Sibol,
there's some attack.
I will let you get safe fast. Let's
Sanjeev, just show the shots. Come this side. Come. We are right now in the bunker. Some alarm has been pressed right now. There's some alarm.
Yes, there is alarm is the road. I don't know if that's the road or here, but
okay. There's some alarm which has been pressed, so we have been asked to stay safe inside this bunker right now. We are in this bunker right now, but essentially it looks quite unsafe right now outside, even as we have heard some kind of alarm now going on. This is the very place where we saw the rockets being launched in the past. We can hear some kind of artillery being fired, but it looks so far that it is again normal to be out, but this is how life is here, that suddenly you might have to move out, and now it looks very safe to be. We are just standing outside the bunker. The people are also trying to get out, but this shows that how dynamic the situation has been on this side of Israel. That's the southern side of Israel, places where there have been attacks in the past as well.
Indeed, this is the new normal, as you can tell from our correspondent Sidhan Sibol. He is live in Israel, and just a few moments ago there was a siren that made them hunker down. So Sidhan Sibol, stay safe. We'll talk to you later. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.